Hello, I'm Gino. Welcome to Dazzle TV. It's 5:30 a.m. here in Solsticio Azul Resort in Pandan, Antique in the Philippines. And I'm going on my morning walk. Looks like no rain today here in Antique province. It pretty much rained all day yesterday here, but we still had a good time. We still went swimming. I walked on the beach here like midday when there was no rain. I see a small banca here. Let me go walk to that banca and just check it out. There's other boats here, like little banca. This one doesn't look like it has a motor. I'm kind of curious because I don't think this one has a motor. There's more bancas right there. Like little small banca here. Looks like it only has room for like one person or maybe two at the most. It must have a motor because it has a small propeller. I just don't see the motor in here. Must be hidden inside. But pretty cool looking banca here. I see two boats out here, tiny little banca. There's one right there with two people on it. I wasn't gonna miss an opportunity to walk the beach this morning and watch the sunrise, because we did not get a sunset yesterday. It was raining. Just an amazing sunrise here this morning. I am the only person on this beach this morning. I love this kind of walks. This morning, my topic will be skin tax here in the Philippines. I often hear the word skin tax from expats here, because most foreigners here in the Philippines think that they are being overcharged for everything, and I do believe they have a point, because even for me, I am Filipino American. They call me Phil M here in the Philippines. I often experience being overcharged here. To me, it's just a way of doing business here. It's the Filipino culture. Everything is negotiated here. The first price that you get on any item here or any service that you get is usually a starting point. Filipinos like to say, I will give you a discount. That is a common practice with Filipinos here. Often see ads here, even on Facebook Marketplace. The ads will not have a price on it. You go in the comments and every single comment is asking how much. And the person that put up the ad will comment that they PM you, private message. That is when usually the negotiation starts. Instead of putting the price on the ad, the person placing the ad, they want that negotiation to start. I have looked for people's housing here. My latest person that I'm helping is JP. I found a loft apartment for JP. I contacted the landlord. The landlord is actually a Facebook friend of mine. I actually filmed the loft apartment before. I contacted the landlord. I thought we had a deal. I told him about JP's dates. JP sent me the money to pay for the apartment. I was all set to pay the landlord the money because I had contacted him and he told me that the dates that JP was asking was available. I told JP we're all good. I got you the loft apartment. And yesterday, I got a message from the landlord telling me that the current tenant is extending their stay. Yesterday, I got a message from the landlord saying that the current tenant is extending their stay for another 6 months. So the apartment is no longer available. This is after he made a deal with me already, so JP can take the apartment. That is just how business here sometimes happens. Because we don't have a written contract. All we have was a handshake agreement. There really is no way for me to argue, and since JP is not here yet anyway, I will be able to find another apartment for him anyway. But that is just the way transactions here sometimes happen. That's why I know sometimes foreigners get frustrated by that. I try to negotiate housing for foreigners arriving here because usually I can get a better price. And that's what I would recommend for people moving or retiring here in the Philippines. If you know a Filipino friend or someone that can negotiate for you, that would be what I would recommend. Because a foreigner here negotiating with a Filipino, more likely they will try to get more money from you. That is just the way it is here. That is why a lot of foreigners here feel like they're getting a skin tax. That also applies to all tourist destinations here in the Philippines. Let's say you go to Boracay Island, just because you are a foreigner, they will immediately raise the price on you. That is why it's better if you let your Filipina partner do all the negotiating for you, like for tours, for souvenirs, for anything really. Let your Filipina partner do the negotiations for you. But once you've been here in the Philippines, you will also know how to negotiate as a foreigner. Because you also have an advantage that you are a foreigner here when you are negotiating, like let's say for a condo or an apartment. Because most landlords here know that you have the ability to pay. They do not have to worry about a foreigner not paying their rent. Unlike with some Filipinos here that rent apartments, they get behind on their rent. They know with a foreigner, foreigners are always on time with their rent. Because most foreigners here do not want any trouble. That's why most foreigners here are the ones concerned about having a driver's license, having a motorcycle endorsement on their driver's license. They're concerned about insurance. They wear their helmets when they ride their motorbikes. Things that most Filipinos in our province don't even concern themselves with. That boat that I filmed earlier, he's out. He is now out. He just left the beach here with 2 people on it. I figured they could fit 2 people on that boat. I now see 2 people out here fishing. There's other people on the beach now. I see two people here. Looks like they have dogs with them. The skin tax that most foreigners talk about also applies to Filipino Americans, also apply to OFWs that come back here to the Philippines. I think because people here in the Philippines feel like we can afford to pay more. People will always try to get the most money for their product here or their service. That is just the way it is here in the Philippines. It's always been like that. Vendors and landlords will always try to get the most money for their product or their service. Again, just remember, everything is negotiable here in the Philippines. You can negotiate any price here. I was just talking to Kuya over here, and he is laying down these lines with hooks on it. I was curious the other day what he was doing here, but he let me know what he's doing is like he's got that line, the nylon line for fishing, and he has all these hooks from his line attached to this little boat right here. So this little boat, he's dragging it, but he's got several hooks on his nylon wire. So basically, that is how he is fishing here on the beach. Right there, he's walking, he's pulling that little raft, and he's got several hooks in the water. I've never seen anybody fish like that. That's pretty genius, really, when you think about it. Because he has several hooks on his fishing line by just dragging that little boat. Beautiful sunrise here this morning at Solsticio Azul Resort in Pandan, Antique. I'm glad I got to enjoy the sunrise this morning. So thankful for days like this in the Philippines. Here's the I love Solsticio Azul sign. Ooh, I see a hen here with 4 little chicks in the resort. There's the 4 accommodations they have here at Solsticio Azul. Very nice resort here. We've really enjoyed our stay here at Solsticio Azul. Thank you for your continued support of our channel. Dazzle, Liana, Mom, and I truly appreciate your support. Take care, everyone.
Thank you for watching.
We'll see you on our next video.